Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. The football is back, and that means I am joined by Baz from Toffee TV. Baz, you look quite relaxed, you look quite serene, you seem to be enjoying life. I've heard a lot of the Toffee content over lockdown. You guys have seemed quite upbeat. The footy's about to come back. I mean, look, it's no ideal situation to be coming back to a Merseyside Derby.
No, we've been quite upbeat because, quite simply, Paul, there's been no football, so we've been able to concentrate on a lot of other stuff. You know what, for as bad a time as the world has had, and it's been horrific. Obviously, in terms of just like content, we've had some great chats with ex-players and stuff. So, but obviously all building up to this. But like you say, coming back to a Merseyside derby isn't great. But we'll be honest, it's been made slightly easier by the prospect now that Liverpool won't win the league at Goodison Park. They'll have to wait a couple of more days for it. So that's took a little bit of the heat out of it for us, I must admit.
We were talking before, and I said there's lots of other reasons around it. We may as well discuss it now, really, because it's obvious, isn't it? Merseyside derbies are not relaxing experiences at the best of times, but there is just something to having that, the potential there of Liverpool winning the league looming over you. You can at least enjoy the derby in a normal way. You can enjoy the next few days and what have you. But you said something interesting to me, that it's Carlo Ancelotti didn't need that hanging over his head, because he actually needs to just he could really do with having a real clean start.
Yeah, I mean, it's we've said this a couple of times when me and Ped have been talking. He's only had 12 games in charge of Everton, and I know he coming just before Christmas. His first game was Boxing Day, and it seems like he's been here for ages, but it's actually only 12 games, and so he doesn't need on his record that Liverpool won the Premier League at Goodison Park. I think personally it'd be unfair to him, and that's gone now. So it is a case of he can just get on with whatever. And quite an interesting choice of word you said there when you said we can just get on with enjoying the derby, which is not something we've tended to do for a number of years, I'll be honest. Yeah. If ever, even when we've won, it's normally the relief at the final whistle rather than enjoying it. I think the only derby I've really enjoyed was the last 25 seconds of when Andy Johnson, that when we won 3-0, because I thought, even in Everton standards, we can't concede 3 goals in 25 seconds. I was pretty confident at that stage. But
and of course, all the rewatchings of the DVD.
Never rewatched the DVD in my life, Paul, of a derby win, to be honest. I've seen goals again. But no.
and in all honesty, the copy of that's in your studio I bought for you.
And it's still in the seal. You will notice it's still got the cellophane on. But you know what? Might bring it out because it might remind me what it was like. It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, isn't it? I think at the moment footy kind of exists. It's very pre-season like, isn't it? It exists in possibility. You spend that time. Once we know footy's coming back, you can spend your time thinking, what might happen? What's the most? I mean, is there anything surprising that you think's likely to happen and change? Because we've seen in the Arsenal City game a couple of changes being made. Now, obviously, Mikel Arteta thinks David Luiz is shit and badly wants rid of him, and he was totally vindicated in that in the end. But we've seen a couple of managers who are just trying to start next season now. Do you reckon there's anything in that, in what Ancelotti will do with the
It's a tough one, this, because obviously Everton are still theoretically in the hunt for Europe. 2 wins off a European spot, and it could be, Europe could go to 8th if Manchester City's case is upheld by UEFA and they are banned. Obviously, Champions League place goes to 5th and it gets extended. So while there's a prospect of that, albeit, it'll take a good effort from Everton to make those European places, I think that's something that Ancelotti will be mindful of. And obviously last night we seen Sheffield United drop points and then Arsenal were beaten. So he will have that in his mind. But I think for him, and the way we're looking at it, it's almost twofold for us, because it's an opportunity that we know that with the 5 subs, it's going to change games anyway, because you're going to see 10 players most times, certainly early on, I think, while players try to get up to fitness. And this is something I've watched a lot of the German stuff when it's come back. A lot of teams are making those 5 changes, so that gives other players an opportunity then, and it'll give Ancelotti the opportunity to assess some of our younger players. Are they ready? Can they be part of the squad next season? It'll probably convince them with a few of our other players that they shouldn't absolutely not be part of our squad next season. So, and I guess for Liverpool, once they've got the league wrapped up, it'll give Klopp an opportunity then to maybe look at a couple of other, and maybe a couple of young lads who'll get a go, Harvey Elliott, people like that.
It's interesting to see that, because I think we were talking a bit about that on our build-up show, and it's interesting to see what Klopp does, whether he's dead set on breaking the points record, and whether he wants to do that or not. But what I'm interested in, because obviously Ancelotti's come in and he's kind of largely just, obviously he's starting to put his own stamp on it, but like you've stuck with more of the 4-4-2, haven't you, that kind of Ferguson was using or whatever. But we've seen it again, it's far too early to truly know. But do you reckon there's anything in that notion that like he might have his actual tactical plan, and it might be something that he's been working on a little bit more over this time, or do you think it is going to be largely what you've seen in the 12 games you mentioned?
Yeah, I think his preferred formation is 4-4-2 anyway. I've read this book early on, Quiet Leadership, just to get a feel for the man and what he's obviously one of the most decorated managers in European football. So, he's been that successful everywhere he's been. But he does talk about the 4-4-2. I don't think he's someone who will stick and die on the hill by that formation, so to speak. But he does have variations of it, and it's someone who did very well against Liverpool actually over 4 games with Napoli, didn't he? Using that kind of 4-4-2. So I think. But then the caveat to that, I guess, is he's been given this 3-month hiatus where he can look at everything that Everton have done so far and maybe look at where there's strengths and weaknesses. And we know that there's been Zoom meetings, as every club will have done, with players, and they've gone through certain things that he's seen. So, but I do think that listening to him talking about previous clubs and what he's done there, he probably will stick with the 4-4-2 and look to try to develop, try to bring players in who maybe suit it a little bit more than what Everton have got.
Baz, can I ask a question? Right. What are we going to do? Because Jurgen Klopp's sound and Carlo Ancelotti's sound, and there's a mutual respect as football fans, I think, for the job that both of those fellas do and how they conduct themselves and stuff. What are we meant to do? We're meant to dislike each other's managers intensely, and I really like Ancelotti.
Me and Ped had this yesterday, and some on one of the lives, a few people were having a go with Klopp, and I was like, I want to hate him, and sometimes he annoys me just because sometimes he plays up to the camera, but I can't hate him because he's generally just like a sound fella. He's generally just like, when you listen to him, things he says when he's talking about the social side of it, it's all, everything he says is kind of like just a normal fella. So I think there is that respect, but I think there was that respect going on. You might be a little bit young for it, but I remember when Dalglish was Liverpool's manager, and even though we kind of hated them a little bit, there was a respect
Kenny Dogfish and all that, like.
But I think the thing was, what a fantastic footballer as well. And I think Liverpool fans didn't like Howard Kendall, but they were like, he's actually quite good, and there was a bit of that as well. I think what we have to remember with fans as well is a lot of these managers go out and have meals together and everything, and we know that Ancelotti and Klopp get on really well anyway. So it's one of those things, mate. It's good to have. It's good to have two are probably the best. Klopp's certainly the best manager, or one of the top 2 managers in the world at the moment, and it's good to have 2 of the top managers, I would say, in Europe on Merseyside. Certainly from our perspective.
I completely agree on that, and look, that will, my opinion, that will change massively if Everton become a force, because I don't want you to be better than us. It was annoying enough when we were both a bit crap and you were a bit better than us when we were fighting out for 7th and 8th in the league. But we have a couple of years though where it's like us and you, so sometimes we're on top and then you get it back, because
I must admit, I'm missing a bit of that. It's been 30 years. It's
Manchester can get in the bin as far as I'm concerned, mate, because it's been far too long. Everyone's forgotten. Everyone's kind of gone, oh well, yeah, Liverpool, yeah, they're normally good, but it annoys me, and part of this is there's the banter side of thing, which means I perversely enjoy it to some extent, but also look, we get on really well with you guys. We've done a lot of work with you over the years. We inhabit a lot of the same spaces. For you, I'd quite like Everton to be at least better than they've been, but from a wider sense, and it goes out the window when the derby starts, because I'm not asked. I want you to hate when that happens. But in a wider sense, I've been looking at the league, and I look at the managers in particular of the top clubs, and I think to be at the top of the Premier League these days, I think it's changed. I think because of Guardiola and because of Klopp, and it's always been sort of like this. I think if you want to be one of the top clubs, you've got to have one of the top managers, and if you can also have the right money and the right backing behind you, I don't see any reason theoretically why Everton shouldn't be above. I look at like Carlo Ancelotti's he's maybe the third best manager, or certainly we're splitting hairs over the top today.
Potential, yeah.
But I mean, in terms of what he's done and his quality as a manager, let's not tear it because it's just being argumentative. He's better. He's in the top bracket, and he's a better manager than Solskjaer, and he's a better manager than Lampard, and he's a better manager than Arteta. And so while you've had this period of like flight to fancy and optimism and all that kind of stuff over the last couple of months, have you looked at this restart and thought, you've said it there, 2 wins off the European places, you look at Arsenal, you look at Man United, everyone's expecting Man United to be flying all of a sudden, but is there any little part of you that's had a little dream that says what happens if Everton put 5 or 6 results together?
Yeah, no. I think you do. I think automatically you do. I think what's going to be really interesting will be, obviously we're playing behind closed doors. So, Everton playing Liverpool in a derby at Goodison, I'm always quietly confident because I think it's a difficult place for any team. Liverpool have had great results there over the years, but it's still a difficult, not loads, and it's a great leveler. So this time, theoretically speaking, if Liverpool play their best game and Everton play their best game, Liverpool will win because they're a better side. There's no kind of leveler there, and it's what happens if Liverpool get ahead. Have Everton got enough to raise it within themselves without us being on the back? And that applies to a lot of games. We've got still, I think, the 6th best home record in the league, even though we had a poor few months under Silva. So you look at it that way and go, well, normally, with 9 games with full houses, then I'd expect Everton to win 4, and then the Liverpool game's a bit of a flip of a coin. It's obviously a bit different now because there's no crowd there, and like I said, if Liverpool perform, they should win. But then perversely going away from home, you're just playing on a pitch against other teams, and so when we go to Spurs, for argument's sake, it's just Mourinho, Tottenham before the break. I know they didn't have Harry Kane, they weren't very good, and without a crowd, I'd expect Everton to get something. So it is a bit different, but I think our midfield is the real concern, Paul, and it's something for me it's not good enough. We've got Andre Gomez who's come back and he is very good, but he needs someone with him who is mobile and athletic. And what we've got available isn't mobile or athletic. So it's not. I mean, we've got Tom Davies.
Are we talking about Morgan Schneiderlin?
Schneiderlin won't play. He's got a knee injury and is very close to leaving anyway for Nice. Gylfi Sigurdsson is great at banging a 30-yarder in every now and again, but is not mobile enough in the middle of the park. Tom Davies is a 2 or a 7, and you don't know what he's going to be. And so he's so inconsistent. And Fabian Delph is injury prone, and so for us there's a huge gap there now. There's a couple of young lads have been saying, and Benny Beningame who's been in and out. In fact, he come on in a derby a few years ago at Goodison last 15, and he's not bad. He's a destroyer, but he's only a kid and he's untried really, but he's mobile, and so he would come in. So it's things like that. I think for going forward, if you take these 9 games away, I think for Carlo Ancelotti they have to bring in a central midfield player who can get up and down the pitch, because if you're going to play 4-4-2, it's fine. It gives you more chances at the top end of the pitch, unless you've got the front three like yourselves or Manchester City, and not many teams have got that. So 4-4-2 has enabled Everton to score goals. Yeah. You know, the front two have got roughly 30 between them this season. It's not bad. But the midfield is crying out for someone who can get up and down, and that's what you need in a 4-4-2. And when I look at Everton, that's the key area for me. It's just not good enough. And so going forward, that's exactly for me what he needs to do. He needs to get that person, because we hoped we'd have Jean-Philippe Gbamin fit for these last 9 games, and he is definitely the unluckiest man in football. Kid missed 4 games in 2 years. Signed for Everton, played a game and a half. His thigh muscle come off, his quad muscle come off the bone. He come back into training and playing head tennis, stretched and snapped his Achilles, so he's now out for 8 months. So, and he's 6'4", can get up and down the pitch. He's exactly what we need in there, but we haven't got it. So that'll be the key area for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So do you have any sense of optimism ahead of this game, the game itself?
Oh, you've always got to be optimistic going into a game. Like I said before, if the both teams play to their full potential, you'd expect Liverpool to win, of course you would. But there's games where things don't go in, you know, no matter how many chances you have. And I think the fact it's behind closed doors will be different anyway. There'll be a different feel to it. So I think for Everton to get anything, I would potentially try to miss the midfield out and play it a little bit more direct. But then you've got Van Dijk, who's fantastic in the air. So it's one of them, isn't it? It's going to be a tough one. But, you know, there's an unknown to it. And it is, how will both sets of players react playing in an empty stadium? And because it's the first game back, and I watched the German games, the first game back, teams weren't sharp as what what we've seen it last night with Man City and Arsenal. City for 40 minutes. They had a lot of the ball, but they weren't sharp in the final third, and they got the goal, and obviously Arsenal lost the man, and it became a bit one-sided. But so for Everton's sake, I hope Liverpool aren't as sharp as what they normally are, and we can catch them cold. But I'm always optimistic, especially at Goodison. We'll see.
Keep the optimism. Hold on to it for now. Let's try to enjoy the next few days before it all becomes real again, and it's not just lived in fantasy conversations.
Listen, you'll see how optimistic I am Monday morning if we've got a result.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll see.
Absolutely. We were trying to work out what the most Everton way this game could go is, because that's how all the recent derbies have gone. And we were saying the only possible thing is that for you to finally win a Merseyside Derby, but not actually be in the building for it. If that's the case, I asked you this last week. Would you have to actively avoid going to derbies if you thought that was the reason that made you win one?
If you said to me, Everton will win the next 10 derbies at Goodison, but keep the crowd away, I would be out there with my placard saying, stay away, let's win some. But listen, a lot of people have said that it will be typical of us to win a derby, and none of us are there because it's been a while. But I was looking through some of the numbers, and they don't make pretty reading for Everton, they really don't. If Liverpool avoid defeat on Sunday, we equal your longest unbeaten record against any team, which is currently 22, which is Aston Villa. So there you go.
So,
but records are there to be broken.
Yeah,
records
absolutely.
Are there to be broken.
Hopefully, like Premier League points records. But yeah, Baz, thank you so much for taking the time. Hopefully, next time we're able to do this, we can do this a little bit closer. We're literally sat in other rooms.
Yeah, there's a wall between us. Let's break down them walls, Paul, in future. Absolutely. You know,
amazing. But yeah, thanks very much to Barry for joining me. You go and check out Toffee TV, of course. And as mentioned on the build-up show, I'm going to say it again, we are doing a live commentary on the game from 6 p.m. on Sunday. Me and Chris. It's going to be better than that shambles that Arsenal Fan TV put together, probably. But it's going to be entertaining. Come and join us over there for that, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra.